Hi everyone. Can you guys see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. So I'm Harshul, and I'm currently a PhD candidate at University of Illinois at Chicago. And I did my bachelor's in electronics engineering from AMU. Then I moved to IIT Bombay for my master's in science and physics, and now I'm here. So I'll quickly begin without wasting much of the time. So since this presentation is much about PhD, I'm gonna ask, what's a PhD? So let's see just what's the general definition or a full form of PhD is. So the general definition that we know is Doctor of Philosophy, but is it like, is it seriously the Doctor of Philosophy? No, I don't think so. Uh, let's see some alternative options. What it could be? It could be more like patiently hoping for a degree because it's a very, very long commitment. Or it could be like, please hire me. I'm very, very desperate. Because you have to be like real desperate to get a PhD, and that you'll see in like next few slides. Why do I mean to say that? Then few other definitions could be like probably heavy in depth, and parents have doubts. Like sometimes they seriously do have like, why my son or my daughter is doing this PhD, and then you'll definitely get this permanent head damage because you can ask like a lot of seniors here, and they'll say you the same thing. And yeah, then the most important thing, paid half of what you deserve. You'll definitely get very, very low pays. And yeah, many more. We can talk about this all day, but yeah. Now, jokes apart. Let's get some serious and let's see what are some important points we need to keep in our minds while entering this lion's den. So yeah, the first thing that we need to keep in our mind is the specialization or the subfield. So when you start going for a doctorate after a master's or a bachelor's, you get to see that it's no longer just some electronics or some physics, chemistry, or maths. You need some specific specializations or subfields. So I'll take an example of physics. So if we see just physics, the word physics include a lot of different fields. It includes from fields like particle physics to condensed matter or to medical physics and like to environmental, a lot of steps. So chances are if a person is doing uh, medical physics, the chances are he or she may not know what's happening in the cosmology. And if someone is doing condensed matter, then he might not know what's happening in physical chemistry or nuclear physics. So that's why you need some specific specialization to go in some certain field. We can also take example of electrical engineering. You can see there are a lot of different fields or the domains in which you can go, like power and energy, microelectronics, nanoelectronics, or the VLSIs, signal processing, telecommunications, and a lot more different fields. Like you can even go to some computer science based fields as well in through electrical or electronics engineering. So my advice is just decide upon a subfield or a specialization. Why? Because having a subfield in mind before going for a PhD is very crucial as well as beneficial for application. So if you have certain area of interest in your SOPs, then it will definitely help you choose. Like it will definitely aid your application during the selection process. Now, this I already discussed. Like you have to be like more than just physics, chemistry, maths, or computer science. So be a bit specific because a person reading your SOP would like to know in which area you would like to work in. But you have to keep a few things in mind as well. So while being specific is a good idea, but don't be too much rigid. So if you are supposed too rigid that I just want to work with this particular person, Mr. X, and in this particular field, Y, then the chances are if you're applying to university and that Mr. X do not have the funding or the vacancy in that research area of that particular group in field Y, they'll straight away throw your application in the bin. They don't consider you. They won't consider you for any other area or some closely related area. So you need to be like a bit flexible while you write, but there should be some particular area in which you are applying. Like you can write that you are interested in condensed matter, but you would be okay if uh, you will just like to explore particle physics as well. So that's good. And the next important thing to keep in mind is like look for the place and the duration of the PhD offered there. So for example, on an average degree completion time in like US is 5 to 6 years, while the same is just 3 to 4 years in Europe. While both places have their own advantages and disadvantages, because like if you're looking for some shorter duration of PhD and you are already ready for the research work and you have done lots of like research in your masters or bachelor's, have published papers, then I would suggest you to go to Europe and start your research work right away. But if you are not that prepared well, if you are just going for PhD after your bachelor's, or even your master's, your experience of master's was not that good, or COVID might have been there. So you can go to US, and there they do have first 2 years dedicated for the coursework, and then you can start your PhD track after that. So what's next? The next is it's an ocean of universities, and I have a share of Galib that can fit into this. It's like ये search नहीं है आसान, बस इतना समझ लीजिए एक यूनिवर्सिटीज का दरिया है और बस ढूंढते जाना है. So like how to look for a particular university, and it's $1 million question, and even if you get the answer of it, you'll get only the peanuts in the end, and that too like you'll get something very close to minimum wage once you start your PhD, and those two are taxed in US for around 15% or so. Yeah. So now when you are ready to get the minimum wage and you're like, yeah, I'll take it, and I'll just still want to go to that area, so you can start with making an Excel sheet or a Google sheet, LibreOffice, whatever. I just don't care. Just you just need a sheet to collect the data, and just let's call this sheet as Miss Grid sheet. Search through the like then start searching through this multiple ranking websites. Like William Bhai has already suggested QS ranks, and this QS ranking website has like ranking based system on categorizations on departments of fields as well. So check that feature as well. It's very good. It will give you some good rankings. It has some good reviews. So you can go to QS rankings. Then there is another very important list if you're going for a PhD. It's the Carnegie list of universities, like which is based on the research activity and the output of that particular university. You can check the Wikipedia for that. And then there is US News Ranking, Red School Shopper. That's Red School Shopper specifically for physics people. And then there is Yoketex and many more websites. So the next thing is read the reviews about the university and the department of the web on like on different websites. There are multiple review websites. You can go to Grad Cafe. I found this one particularly good. There are multiple people who can share about their acceptance and rejection offers. They also tell you about how particular university is, or how particular professor could be. Even Reddit would help in this case. So now at this some point we would like just shut up and just give me some link that I can go to. Okay then. So there you go. You can just simply scan this, and you'll have the access to this my Miss Grad sheet, which you can just fill it up, and like you can just use to collect the data. And then you will also have the access to Carnegie list of universities. And for the physics guy, I have a special gift. This is a whole list of universities offering master's program in physics. It has the details about fundings, it has details about the application fees, the professors, and much more. So you can just take the screenshot right now and scan it later. It has 3 different links. Go to them and explore. So what else to check, and like where else to check and what else to look for? So where? So there are few different more websites like academicpositions.co.uk. On this website for PhD postdocs, like you'll get many postings for postdocs, PhD and faculty fundings, like all those different things. Then there is academicjobsonline.org, and for like high energy physics specifically, there is a website called inspirehep.net. So I would suggest people to go to them, explore them, and just look for the positions, read the specifications or the job descriptions, go there and apply for it. What else? Like what else should be looked while searching for the universities? Funding. It's the most important thing. Check for the various fellowships, scholarships. Like there is one Fulbright Nehru scholarship. And then securing a fellowship increases the chances of selections by many folds. Like if a person has a scholarship or a fellowship in his bag and his CV or resume, then and if he applies to a university, then the chances are he'll get selected very fast, because the university don't have to fund him and professor don't have to spend his research budget on him for his like salaries. He'll just have his own funding and everything, and he'll use the facilities there. And like looking for funding, like also if you don't get these fundings or scholarships, start looking for funding your prospective research groups might have. So go to their websites, check if they have listed their funding sources, their current projects, and everything else. Apart from that, also check the testing requirements. Like SSGC, though offers for selected students to pay for their GRE and TOEFL and different things, but some people still might face difficulties for paying, like while paying for these tests. So check for the testing requirements, what all tests the university needs. And also there are few universities which require subject GRE, especially for physics, chemistry, mathematics, psychology, and like few more. Then you have to like appear for those exams as well. Next thing is like check for the coursework, because chances are like you suppose you're interested in some particular area of your field, and the university might not have very good coursework in that area. So check for that as well. So if you do not find that match up coursework there, then better not to select that university. Also, like if you've done your masters, then it's good to skip a bit of coursework. It's not advised to do all of the coursework for 2 years they offer it. So look for course waivers. Do they offer course waivers, or what other systems they have? They might have credit transfer system. Look for that, like if you can transfer your credits. Then also look for the ways in which how you easily can score a RA opportunity there. And then yes, if you are applying independently, then application fees play a big role. Like some universities do have 150 $160 of application fees, so take that in mind as well. And yeah, for the SSGC scholars, just sit or maybe stand with your mentors somewhere, discuss with them, ask for their suggestions, and they provide very good suggestions. I remember like last time I like just had a chat with like Full Bhai, Sachin Bhai, and like other my one of the mentors. They like suggested me a lot many universities, and I just figured that how to like shortlist them, what are the good opportunities there, and how to like proceed. So now let's go to the phase two of this shortlisting. Once you have your first draft of at least like around 15 to 20 universities, start with the round two, because it's too much. Like 15 is 20 is like a very big number to apply at. So start visiting at the department websites, look for the research activity and the personnel related to your subfield, hunt down the POIs, also known as the professors of interest. Look for them, read a bit about their active research, and visit Google Scholar. It's a very helpful website. Just type the name of your POI, and it will list all of the papers they have published by now. Just visit them, read a one or two paper, and that will give you the idea of their active research. By active, I mean the current research they are doing, because chances are they might have been doing some other research sometime in the past, and they are not currently on that area. So better avoid that. And look for the funding and projects they have, and the collaborations they are part of. That's a very big thing as well, because the big collaborations they are part of, the better the chances are you might score a funding. Then mail them, like dead cold mail them. And but remember, just mail only one professor from a department. Don't try to mail just multiple or all the professors of a department. It gives you a bad impression from you, that you are just being too much desperate, though you have to be a bit desperate. So now when and how to mail? Obviously, like of course not during the holidays. Nobody will see your mail or even check their mailbox during the holidays. Then avoid mailing like during weekends or busy hours of the weekdays. You can just simply mail on any weekday, but just you try to be in the early morning, not to be like too late. It was the end of the workday, because people are in a bit of hurry while leaving, and they just don't check the mailbox during the end of the day. So how? Like someone also asked this question, like how do we mail them? So I'll just give you the draft for that. So develop a mailing draft, like which you will just edit every time you mail a different professor. So how to do with that? Like what's the flow? What can be write in that mail? So write a meaningful subject line at first, like looking for a PhD position in your group, or something like this. And start with the greeting and a short introduction of yourself. Mention the purpose of the mail, like why are you writing this? You are looking for a PhD position, TA position, RA position, and so on. And next thing, like give your qualifications and a relevant profile summary, who you are, where are you from, what experience do you have. Just very small paragraph, like 3 to 4 lines, not more than that, because the longer the mail, the chances are they won't read it. Then point out the part of the research you are interested in, like it's towards the closing of the mail. Just point out in 1 or 2 lines that you have read their research work. This is the particular point that you are pretty much interested in, and just mention that. And if possible, for that, read a paper or two. By reading, I mean just skim through that and concentrate more on abstract and conclusion. At least that's what I did. And then in the end, just attach your CV, transcripts, full transcripts, like mentioning all of the subjects you have taken till then and their grades, and just hit send. That's the simple flow that I followed, and you can just follow the same. Chances are you'll get some reply if you are mailing them at the right time. And then wait for their reply. Why for? Because if you get some positive reply, then voila, you have your target set. Else, if no reply or a negative reply, then simply remove that university from your list. You don't need to apply at that place because they might not have the funding. And then just increase your eye, go to the next university, mail them again, check this if they have some positive reply or the negative reply, and the loop goes on. So, and that is how I met my advisor. So this is basically how I did my search. You can just follow the same, and you can just go to some good place. And yeah, thank you. And if there are any questions, we all of you are welcome for that.
Thanks a lot, Harshul, for the very methodical and funny talk. I would say funny because I was laughing the whole time seeing your slides and the way it was presented. Thanks a lot for this. So with this, we have the floor open for
question.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. I have a question. Hello.
Hi, Bushra. We can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
My question is, I know that the GRE and TOEFL are a mandatory part of the application.
Shortlisting university, and also to give the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Fool. I think Salman Bhai was there, maybe, but I think yeah, he dropped out of the chat. Okay, cool. I'll be talking. So yeah, I mean, thank you, Harshul, and thank you, William, for sharing your wonderful experiences with us. I mean, yeah, to be very honest, as Harshul just pointed out the Galip share where he was mentioning that it's like an ek dariya hai aur khoste jana hai. So that was a sort of feeling I was having when I was myself shortlisting universities. When you have like a limited, finances to apply, even though you're having SSGSA scholarship. So yeah, that was really a tough thing to shortlist. So what I mean, I was like emailing professors a lot and asking them, do you like my profile? And if their reply were in positive, they were talking to me on Zoom, or even they were encouraging me to apply. I was just putting the list, together and applied only to those universities. Because like, for example, you are emailing to a particular university and professors are not interested in your profile beforehand. There is no point of applying there. So yeah, as Harshul and William wonderfully pointed out. And one thing, like what I was doing it, that I was also emailing, graduate coordinators with my profile beforehand and asking, what do you think, like whether my profile suits your department or not? Where do I stand in your department applications? So you can also email graduate coordinator, which is basically a professor who's responsible for admissions to grad students. So you can also email them your applications, basically write them an email, a generic email, attach your CV and transcripts and ask them. So sometimes they do reply. Not necessarily all the time, but yeah. So that was my sort of story about applications. So yeah, thank you, William, for wonderfully pointing out how to apply for MS program, how to shortlist universities, especially, that you mentioned about wonderful websites to shortlist them, especially about funding agencies. So, and yeah, Harshul, thank you very much for, for telling what PhD is all about, how to shortlist universities there, and like how to emails professors. So yeah, so and thank you, thank you whole teams, Fool, Haris, Samina, Sabah Bhai for arranging this wonderful talk. And yeah, definitely this talk will be available on SSGSA YouTube page. So please go there, subscribe our channel, like it, and share with your friends. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sachin Bhai. With this, we will end our